evening. My name is Jemima Beatrice. I'm your host for tonight. Let's have a look at today's headlines. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Jemima Beatrice. I'm your host for tonight. Tonight we have in studio with us the treasurer of the official opposition party, the PDM, Mr. Nico Smit. Good evening, Mr. Nico.
Yeah, good evening, Jemima.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, the national budget that was tabled last week, the opposition has pointed out a number of issues that they felt needed to be raised, and that is why we brought Mr. Smit in here. Mr. Smit, what is the PDM position on the national budget?
Yeah, Jemima, first of all, if you don't mind, can I just take the mask a little bit down? Otherwise, my voice might not be so clear. The PDM still stand by what we are saying, that this budget is actually a joke. It's mainly a carbon copy of the budget last year. There's nothing new in this budget. A lot of ministries has been under budgeted. Some of them are totally over budgeted. We don't know what are they going to do with that money, and there's no nothing in the budget for the real problems, to address the real problems in this country, especially for housing. Housing, I can't believe it that the Minister of Finance and the Cabinet could approve only 1.7 billion Namibian dollars for the Ministry of Urban and Rural Government. That is the ministry that we are convinced should support the local governments, should bail them out, give them loans or just money to do the land servicing, to demarcate the plots and to service the land and to give the land to our people. What can you do with 1.7 billion? There's hardly enough, for their salaries. Nothing can be done with 1.7 billion. Not if you take, we are, how many? 52 or 53 local authorities in this country. And at each and every one, the biggest need there are land, are housing. But there is no provision for that in the budget. I can't see whether, if they've hid it somewhere, then I couldn't pick it up, but it's not there. That is the main one. And then also, although, as I've said also before, that the Ministry Education got the largest chunk of the budget, about 14 billion. Now, our problem is, what did the Ministry of Education throughout the years did with this huge amount of money that they got? Was it not for the coronavirus pandemic that we have here? then we would not have known exactly what is the status of our education systems or setup. To tell us that more than 170 schools have no running water, have no toilets, that is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. What are they doing with the money? And also look at the infrastructure that they are creating with the money that they are getting. You hardly see that they are building cement brick classrooms or new schools. It is tents that they are putting up. It is temporary buildings that they are putting up for classrooms. It is not infrastructure that we can, that we can be used for. It can be used for years. So, on what are they spending? If you look at the textbooks, there's hardly a school where the children, each and every child, have a textbook. They have to share, or there's no textbooks. They have to make photocopies. Children have to pay for the photocopies. So where's the money going?
Mm-hmm. Speaking about where's the money going, PDM has been on record criticizing the stimulus package of government, the 8.1 billion now during COVID-19, as well as the budget for the health ministry. What is PDM doing in this regard to hold government accountable? Well,
first of all, the Ministry of Health, the same what I've said about the Ministry of Education. We are nearly 30 years independent. This government, run by SWAPO for 30 years, has not built one single hospital in this country, not one. All of the hospitals that we have here have been inherited from the previous regime. And they are all so dilapidated. They did not even maintain those buildings. We saw the other day, when the president visited the Katatura hospital, in what state that hospital is. It's falling apart. Nothing is done to renovate that place and to make it. It's not a hospital. To me, it seems that you actually go to these hospitals to die. You are not going there to recover from the illness that you have or whatever. If you look at the health situation in those hospitals, but there's nothing. And also, they are getting about the second largest chunk of the budget. What are they doing with that money? If you go to any clinic, if you go to a hospital, to their pharmacies, there's no medicine. No medicine. So for what are they using that money, that billions of dollars that they are getting? Is it only on salaries or what? The hospitals doesn't have beds, they don't have mattresses, they don't have linen, they don't have towels, they have nothing. And look at the food. The food is so bad. You can't give that food for sick people. So we are, we will not leave this thing. We will make it an issue, a serious issue, because, this is one of the most important ministries that we have, health. If you don't have a healthy nation, you will go nowhere. So that is the first and foremost thing that we will make an issue. The other one was on the 8.1 billion. That was allocated for this coronavirus pandemic. We still don't know what they are doing with that money. If you take, they've spent how many, 11 million or 12 million on this quarantine setup where they quarantine the people. And about 2,000 people were quarantined. That gives you, if you make a simple calculation, I think more than $6,000 per person. Now, where do you keep a person that costs you $6,000 for 14 days? I don't know. If you look at the places where they kept these people, there's no way that it can cost $6,000 to keep a person there. And also the places where they keep them, the quarantine, are also not up to standard. The food is pathetic, very, very bad. And also the whole health situation at those centers are not according to international standards. Many of even the security people there, the nurses, those people who are treating or looking after those people are walking around without masks. and without proper clothing to protect themselves and also the people who they are keeping there. So yeah, we have a serious problem, and with that, I also want to know exactly what is the criteria. Why do we have it here that some people who comes into the country can go and stay at the Safari Motel or Heya Lodge or very, 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 very smart places, costing very expensive places, and others have to go and stay at Graders or some other, third grade, accommodation setup. What is the basis? What is the criteria on which they decide who can go where? Mm-hmm. Is it only the rich people that can go to the five-star places, and the poor must go to this fourth grade type of centers? Mm-hmm. And also, why should some people go and under self-quarantine? What is the difference? If I come into the country and I don't have the virus, I've been tested negative, why can I go and stay at, say, at the Safari Motel or Heya Lodge, but the next person must go under, self-quarantine, and he must go and stay at his house, or he must rent a place. He's not, being helped financially to stay there. He must look after himself. He must pay for his own accommodation. He must pay for his own food. But I can stay in a five-star, getting very nice food, very nice rooms. What is the criteria? Why can some people stay in those places and some, are treated totally different? We want to know, especially when it's come to the accounting for this 8.1 billion, we want to know exactly what has been done with this money. We want a proper account of this money, and not only just an account. We want actually a forensic audit on this money. We want to know what happened to this money. Mm-hmm. We will not leave it there, because this thing is too close to the fish rod. We are sick and tired of this corruption and whatever.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mr. Smit, the PDM top leadership met with some truck drivers last week, and the party itself has also issued a statement to highlight some of the plight of these drivers. Yeah. Can you please share with us what the concerns that these drivers raised with you? Yeah,
you see, this is already for some time a concern with us. More than about 6 weeks ago, just shortly after the lockdown, was started, we issued a press statement talking about addressing this issue, the plight of the truck drivers, because each and everyone in this country knows that the truck drivers, they are our life stream in this country, because everything that comes into this country comes by truck, and everything that we use in this country, whether it's maize meal, whether it's you name it, milk, whatever, is mainly coming from South Africa. We are 98% dependent of the imports from South Africa. Mm-hmm. Now, if you don't treat those people properly, who bring those things into the country, if you treat them like I don't even want to use the word, but really you treat them so bad. You show to them that they are actually nothing. They are only a truck driver. And to me, in this time, it has showed to us who are the most important people in our lives. It's the truck drivers and those people, those cleaners, those removing the refuse from our houses, cleaning the streets, cleaning everything. Those are the forerunners in this whole setup. Mm-hmm. They are the most important, and our health and well-being depend on those people. If they were not prepared to do the work to expose themselves so severely to this virus, what would have happened to us? If say for instance the refuse removers, those truck drivers and the people collecting the bins, say for instance they go on strike, what will happen to us? How will Windhoek look, or any other town in this country? Mm-hmm. It will be a disaster. The same with the truck drivers. So we addressed the issue. Nothing happened. We also spoke to the organization here in Windhoek, the truck owners organization, and they told us that they had a number of meetings with the ministry. Actually, the main issue at that time with the truck drivers was the long hours that they had to wait at the border post to come in for the trucks to be cleared. Mm-hmm. We have been told by them that at one stage they only cleared something like 6 or 8 trucks per day. They check those trucks from bumper to bumper, I don't know for what. And they are so slow. And even a friend of mine who flew over Arnhemsvlei, there at the border post, he said to me that there was a queue, a line of 25 kilometers long, the trucks standing there waiting to come into Namibia. And those people had nowhere to go, those truck drivers. There's no provision made for them, ablution blocks, toilets, washing facilities, cooking, no nothing. They had, I don't know, they said that they had to phone people to bring food for them, while they are there in the lines. So, how can you treat those people so inhumane, as if they are nothing? They are bringing the things that we need to survive on for us, and we don't acknowledge it, we don't respect them. So, now the thing went from bad to worst. Now the truck drivers last week complained to us that they are very unhappy with the way they are being tested at the border post and also at the other checkpoints. Apparently, when they test them, they had a small little stick or something that they push in their noses.
Mm-hmm. The swab.
Yeah, so those swabs, yeah. And but those people who is doing it is no care, very rough. They just push it in and very deep, hurting them, damaging, the skin inside, and many tissues. And in many cases, their noses starts to bleed, and then they've been tested at this one, and then a few hours later at the next one, the same procedure, and their noses, is very sore, it's painful, and it's unacceptable to them. And also, because of this, and the high rate of infection in South Africa, and our drivers are scared to go to South Africa, because they said if they go and they are being tested positive there, they will be put in quarantine. They will stay there for 14 days under very not good conditions, and they might even die there, because they are not very happy with the health situation there. So they are very hesitant, to go out of the country, and also their families are very upset. The stress is very high, because if the wife's husband or the children's father going out, they don't know whether he will return again and when he will return again, because if he's been put in quarantine 14 days on the South African side, and when he comes to Namibia another 14 days, that's a month. From what must these people, his family lived from? And those drivers are being paid, very, 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 very low salaries. I've been told by the drivers that apparently their salaries is on average $6,000, and in many cases their salaries have been halved because of this coronavirus thing.
From the 6,000? From
the 6,000
to 3,000?
Yeah. Sure. Now, who can survive? Now, the person is being kept there. He must cater for his own food and those type of things. Where does he get the money for? And what about his family at home? From what must they live? The rent must be paid, food must be bought, and all those kind of things. So really, I think our way, or the way in which the government is treating our drivers, are totally unacceptable. They are playing with fire. They are playing with serious fire. Because should these people, decide not to drive anymore to South Africa, to go and bring those things back into Namibia, what will happen to us? Where will we get our food from? Our shelves in the shops will run empty within no time. It is very serious, and we ask the government especially those people in charge of this coronavirus, the leadership there, to look into these issues. These drivers must be treated with respect and with dignity. They must get preference when they come to the border. They must be the first ones that can go through, not the last ones. They must be the first one. There must be a special line only for 2 lines only for them. And there must be facilities for them, proper facilities. We must not let them suffer, because if we don't look after them, they will also not look after us, and they will stop driving. And what are we going to do? So in this whole pandemic has teach us who are the important people in our lives. A cleaner is just as important as an engineer or a doctor. No one is more important than the other one. This pandemic has shown us who are the important, real important people that we can't survive without. We can't survive without a doctor. We can't survive without a cleaner. We can't survive without a truck driver. Those are very important, and we must acknowledge it. And they must get what is fair, you know, being paid, not the peanuts that they are getting.
Basically,
No.
Well, thank you very much for joining us and sharing with us that information.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for tuning in. God bless.